Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Nikke Goddess of Victory video. So they finally released more news for the summer PV. You can see right now this is the trailer for the summer limited characters featuring the new Swimsuit Helm and Swimsuit Anise as well. Alright, their skills have been revealed alongside with Anchor's one as well, which we're gonna check out shortly. But first up, this PV is insane. Look at Lita right there. Alright, Lita is in for the surprise. Apparently Lita is going to be available as a pass herself. Alright, you will be able to buy, there's two passes, one for Yen, one for Lita. Keep in mind that Swimsuit Anise is going to come first, happening in August 3rd. And I believe Swimsuit Helm is going to happen, the banner is going to be 1 week later, somewhere in August 10th. Now hopefully in this video we can discuss who is like a better pick if you can only pull for one. Obviously I'm going to go for both because why not, right? Limited characters. Damn, this part is so cool. Can't wait for the story for sure. Now let's look at the kits for both Anise and Helm. Now let's talk about Anise first. So if you guys are not aware, Anise is going to be a burst tree. Very unique overall design. And this is going to be her shooting pose. Alright, not bad. I do like it. She's a shotgun user, as you guys can pretty much hear it already. And look at that. She's just very cheerful, very good, what is that, the animation, right? Burst animation. I do like that as well. So, Swimsuit Anise. Anise Sparkling Summer Burst 3 Supporter Shotgun. First up, I do think that she has very impressive skills and kits overall. So this is what you can see on the passive skill 1, Sparkling Boost. So this thing activates every time you enter full burst. It's going to affect only electric code allies, but look at this. Attack is going to increase by 55% of the caster's attack, and it's going to last for 10 seconds. Now I thought this was pretty interesting, right? So if you are not aware, Lita is one of the strongest character that can buff in the game. A lot of players are still using Lita in a lot of situations, right? She's one of the most flexible burst 1 character. So you can see Lita increase attack by 66% for 5 seconds. Whereas Anise increased attack by 55% for 10 seconds. So I do think that this is going to be much more proportional. So that's overall going to be a pretty impressive stat. Alongside, it also affects everyone's reload speed by up to 50% for 10 seconds. Now that is a very impressive numbers. Obviously we'll have to test it out. It did say right here that it increased of the caster's attack. So that is going to be something that we have to look into. Also, one more thing is it only affects electric code allies, so something to take into consideration. Now, skill 2, Sparkling Missile, is also another passive skill. Activates when firing the last bullet. So this is going to affect 2 enemies with the highest attack and deals up to 382% of final attack. And she has one more skill where she will do increased damage to interruption parts by 6.9%. Damn, 6.9 man. For 10 seconds. Again, very impressive skill nonetheless. It's going to help her do damage as a supporter. Now the active skill, she has cooldown of 40 seconds as you can see. Sparkling Wave. So this is only going to affect herself, where her max ammo capacity gets decreased, but she increased her reload speed and her damage as strong element. So I'm not sure if she can do a lot of damage on her own, considering that she's a supporter class, but that's something that we'll have to find out based on the stats and stuff. But overall, based on what I see so far, she is really unique. A burst 3 supporter, which we don't really get often. Most supporters are like either burst 1 or burst 2, but she's a burst 3. So I do think that this is going to be a good thing because she doesn't compete with Lita or any other burst 1 or burst 2 supporters in that class, right? That's number 1. And number 2, electric code allies. I do like it a lot because right now if you look in the game, there are a couple of characters that can benefit from this. If I go to filter by electric type, these are the damage dealers that we have access to in terms of all. So we have Guillotine. She's going to be a very good staple character to pair with Swimsuit Anise alongside with Scarlet. So these are all going to be very good, and also Heron. Alright, so maybe this might put Heron slightly on top, although she's a sniper rifle and it's going to be a little bit difficult for her to shine. But Scarlet and Guillotine, I do think that they might have the potential if paired with Anise. So that's something that we'll have to find out. Very curious to see how that works out. So yeah, next up we have Helm. Now Helm is going to be a little bit different. She is going to be a burst 2 attacker. So you can see, being a burst 2, that means she might compete with the likes of Quincy, she might compete with the likes of Guilty, or even a Dollar if you are still using any of that, or Rupee even, right? So quite a lot of characters that's taking up the slot, burst 2 slot, right? So you can see, wow, that's pretty impressive assets right there to back her up. So in terms of her skill, she's going to be an iron type assault rifle. Her cooldown is 20 seconds, so there's that as well. So skill 1, her passive skill, activates when landing 30 normal attacks, and this is going to do damage, alright, 131% of final attack. And then she has one more skill where it's going to affect everyone, and I thought this is pretty cool. If you activate once, cooldown of burst skill decrease by 1.8 seconds, activate twice, cooldown of burst skill goes down by 2.2 seconds, and 3 times it's going to decrease even more by 2.6%. So not bad, decrease burst skill cooldown. And then the skill 2 affects one enemy units randomly, deals damage, alright, 105%. This one has cooldown of 4 seconds, which I think is pretty cool. She's going to be able to do damage every 4 seconds. And if the target belongs to electric code, they have their damage taken increase, and that can stack up to 5 times. Maybe it's going to work very well against bosses that's an electric code, right? So for Helm's burst skill, you can see Aegis Cannon Overload. This is going to have a 20 seconds cooldown. She is going to deal 164% of final attack as damage, and is affecting all enemies. So this is going to be a wide AoE, so the more enemies there are, the more she can do overall. I think she's going to be good in story in that case, alright, rather than on bosses, because there's only one enemy for the boss. However, if the enemy belongs to electric code, she will do additional same amount of damage as additional damage. That is crazy. Her damage is double if they are electric code. So that's something that I'm curious to find out. Can the Helm Aquamarine compete with the other Burst 2 characters in the game? Because right now, if you look at Burst 2, it's pretty tight. We have Mars, which came out recently. If you guys put for her, she's one of the competition or rival for this particular slot, alongside with Guilty, Quincy. So they both are like pretty much dominating. Rupee as well, Dollar and Novel. So yeah, it's quite a tight space. It's hard to compete in this particular slot. Not to mention Blanc and Nor if you have them as a pair. So, based on my observation so far, I do think that ANIS might be a better pick, because she's a unique burst skill 3 shotgun electric type that straight up support electric type characters. I do think that she feels a little bit of a safer choice in terms of what she can do, her uniqueness that she brings to the table. That's just based on my observation so far. Obviously, we'll have to test them out further. Definitely, I'll be testing them out on day 1. Hopefully, ANIS first and then Helm later on, if you guys are still deciding to either pick up either one. But for now, I'm leaning slightly towards ANIS, but Helm doesn't seem that bad either. If you play the game enough, you will be able to get either Guilty or Quincy, and I do think that these two are like staple in a lot of Burst 2 slots, right? So can Helm compete there? We'll have to see. We will have to see. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of Swimsuit ANIS or Swimsuit Helm. Which one are you guys going for? Are you guys going for both? As always, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.